From the biggest stories in the NFL to Super Bowl takeaways to Friday Night Lights right here in Abilene, Texas. Local teams like Abilene High, Cooper, Wiley, to the Abilene Bighorns, Abilene's newest indoor arena football team. If it's played on the field and it's football, Carsten covers it. Carsten is breaking down all things football. This is more than highlights. This is the work behind the wins, the mindset behind the moments, the lessons behind the glory. Nothing is given, everything is earned. This is Grind Game Glory.
Welcome back, everybody, to Grind Game Glory. It is another exciting episode, and today we are going to be talking about my talents in NFL and, leading up to the NFL and, playing professional football, hopefully. Those are my hopes and dreams, and those are all the things that I really want to do, and I hope that I accomplish, and I'm very determined. So, Mr. Michaels, what do you think about all the stuff you've seen?
No, absolutely. It's great, Carsten. And already we're off on great episodes here at Grind Game Glory. Episode number 4 today, as a matter of fact, and you've done a fantastic job,
Thank
dude.
you, man.
I mean, your skills go beyond just the field, but also when we started talking about the podcast, I was like, I have no idea what the skill set for this young man is. I know nothing about it, but I know he knows football. So, I mean, we just gave you a topic and you ran with it, man. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I love doing this. I just want to make it known to my fans and the people who watch me worldwide. I love you guys, and I hope that you find my content, entertaining, and you enjoy me talking and us giving us, just honest feedback of how we feel about things and our opinions, and obviously the true things, the true facts about all the stuff that we talk about. On the podcast last time, we talked about George Pickens. The first episode we were talking about kind of myself and starting it up. The, second episode was with Mr. Boost and all that, and it was really cool. It was really, really exciting. But the third episode, man, that really put us over the top, and we really appreciate all the views and all the likes and stuff and all the subscribers that we got. And we really appreciate you. We love you guys.
That's right. Well, and as a matter of fact, some more big things that are happening, and Carsten's kind of moving in the new direction as regard to what we're doing with the podcast. And that is actually the marketing aspects of it next. And, Carsten, we've been talking over the past couple of days and working out logistics with your parents, et cetera, that about the marketing. So First of all, I want to encourage everybody, if you've been checking out the episodes of Grind Game Glory on YouTube. Well, you probably saw those on the Spark Studio, but now Carsten has his own YouTube channel, Grind Game Glory. So as a matter of fact, for any of the social channels that are out there, if you just hit that @ at Grind Game Glory, you'll find you.
Yep. Yeah, you absolutely will. I also have a TikTok. I have a TikTok account called @Grind Game Glory Host. It talks about in the description that, I'm a football player. I'm the host of Grind Game Glory, this wonderful, wonderful show and wonderful podcast. And that's something that I am very grateful to be a part of. And but also talk about how I'm taking contracts now. So if you're a team and whatever football it is, contact flag, you can give me a contract, slap it on me. I'll be ready to go. I'm ready to go.
There you go. And it's also important to notice that with all the marketing happening, that if you do have something you'd like to say to Carsten, then all you got to do is be sure to jump on and send him an email. As a matter of fact, it's super simple. grindgameglory@gmail.com.
Yep, it's very easy, very self-explanatory. We're going to be having our very own business cards coming up soon. They're going to be coming in tomorrow, so I'll be handing those out. And be sure to make sure you get all my contact information, especially if you're a coach and you want to get my contact information. That's very important, and we know that's good feedback for me, and that's good feedback for y'all.
For sure. And coming up in the, we're definitely in the off season right now, so to speak, especially for most football teams. Of course, we also have the Abilene Bighorns, which are kind of they're moving into their season. But still, I mean, when we get back into the season of football, it's all those coaches out there for, let's say, Wiley, for Abilene Cooper, Abilene High, any of the local colleges, any of the local universities, anybody that has football, we're going to be talking to you guys because we want to find out more actually Carsten wants to find out more about your team, what your stats are, those highlight reels, etc. So it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, we got a couple things to talk about. We got a lot of things to catch up on, and we're sorry about the delays and all that stuff to keep you waiting, but we're gonna make up for it today. We're gonna make up for it today in this episode of Grind Game Glory. So make sure you stay tuned and listen up.
Definitely so. So let's jump into it, Carsten, and let's find out more about your skill set. And so we've talked a little bit about the actual podcast, etc. But we definitely want to acknowledge that you put a lot of work into just getting this on the air in the first place.
Yeah, I do. I put a lot of effort and time, and I want to make sure that I satisfy my viewers and give good feedback, and I want to make sure that I'm obviously reliable. Your reliance and your reliability really matters. It matters.
Right. It absolutely does, but at the same time, just like I always say, you never know what you can control and can't control. Some things we just absolutely cannot. But that's the beauty of, the beauty of production and the beauty of what we're doing here at Triumph Public High School is that we can be able to come in here and give you podcasts like this that have great relevant information. I thought that you guys and your guests the other day with the Pickens, phenomenal job. I mean, just watching all the plays that you guys talked about and all the hurdles and all that super exciting stuff.
Yes, it was very exciting for me. I really like jumping on it with, you saw the trio.
Yeah.
And, us three, that's the big three when we go out and play at ACU on the ACU field, practice field, it's always just us three.
We're going to be running through some of those shots today as well.
Yeah, we will.
So we've got Carsten in action.
Yep.
Which is always a good time. There's nothing better than a person who does a podcast based on what they love, but you take it to a brand new extreme.
Yes, I do. I wanted to bring uniqueness to this podcast, right? So I'm not only a podcaster, but I'm a podcaster that does football trying to get to a pro level, right?
Absolutely.
Trying to play contact football. And this is great. This is a great way to grab attention, in my opinion. And it's just, I really love it. I really love giving feedback. And if you want to check out all of the action shots that we're going to be talking about in this episode of Grind Game Glory, you can go check out my TikTok. Again, it's at Grind Game Glory Host, and you'll find them there.
Fantastic. Also, like he was talking about TikTok, for example, a couple of the social media sites that we do have, of course, TikTok, we have Facebook,
Spotify,
Instagram, and YouTube. So again, any of those social channels out there that you might frequent, well, just be sure to check out at Grind Game Glory, and you'll be able to find those channels. And like I said, some of the shots that he's talking about, we're going to be posting on various social channels. So whatever your favorite might be, you can be able to check out all your your mad skills, man.
Hey, we're going to actually start marketing. And this is an idea we've been talking about for a long time, actually. For the marketing aspect, we're gonna put out hoodies and promos and all that stuff. We're gonna have me as the cover and some of my action shots on those hoodies and T-shirts. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it sounds exciting. So any chance that we have to get the word out about Grind Game Glory, I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's great that my students in my electives class in CTE have taken on this realm of what they can do today to get them ready for tomorrow. And I think that Carsten's kind of setting them up for success with regard to the podcasting. And then we even spoke yesterday at length about the possibility of you looking at some other avenues.
Yes.
For instance, with actually news and sports. Who knows?
Yeah, broadcasting, announcing, all that type of stuff. I'm really into it. So see, because we were also talking about it again with, contract-wise. If you ever want to see me out there on the field playing contact football, we'll definitely let you know. And, we're gonna get it hooked up, and we're both working around the clock to make sure that I get into contact football, so we can send that stuff out, so you can see me, and maybe just whatever the case may be on video, whether it's live in person, whatever it is. I want to make sure that you guys see me playing contact football.
So we really talked a lot about your skills, and let's go back to a little bit about the history of where you began in football. And I know we've briefly touched on this, but kind of where did this all begin? Because this is way more than a love affair. This is, intense sports knowledge.
It is. So I started out, like I said, I didn't really give you a full feedback, but I told you that it started with me and my cousins who were out on a very spacious field on the side of my house, right?
Okay.
So we started building it up through the course of it, right? We got cones, we got different things to run around. And then so when we got that stuff that we needed, all the stuff that we needed, we started they started training me. They started legit training me.
Okay.
They're not coaches, they have no experience, they're just cousins, right?
Yeah.
So they train me and I run around the cones like this. I go around them like that, and then like that,
Okay.
and then go like that, right?
Okay.
And I'm going all around it, and I do it about 2 or 3 times
Sure.
to make sure that I get it all right. And my feet can't touch the cone. My feet have to stay
Right.
outside the cone and do a full circle.
Yeah, very, very true. I'm not surprised that you had that field next door, but what I am surprised is you didn't build a whole new football field next door.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that would have been so cool. I mean, I really love this game. This game it's so unique, and I hope that if I do get into pro and stuff like that, I want to revolutionize the game, and I want to show everybody that it doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do because it's your life.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, no one can tell you different.
Right. Absolutely. And, I think that's the great thing about sports in general. It brings people together. But, you've got some very hardcore fans that are fans of basketball, of even golf. There's all kinds of different sports out there. But what do you think is the most or the biggest enticement to football? Why do you think so many more people enjoy football over some of the other sports?
I think it's because I'm going to give you 3 things.
Okay.
How intense it is, the environment, and the things that basically the liveliness of it,
Sure.
the exercise of it. Those are all key things that make football what football is.
Absolutely. And even during the off season, I mean, these guys are in intense training during the off season. And so it's not like, during the off season, you have a break. Sure. I mean, with any job, you have a break, you have a season, etc. But it's still that intense workouts, all that comes into play.
Yeah, but I think the best part about that, it seems hard, but it's actually pretty easy for what it's worth, right? For what it's worth, you're gaining millions and millions of dollars, and all you have to do is either learn how to run the football, throw the football, or catch the football. And if I didn't already tell you, but you'll get feedback from everybody. They'll tell you that I've never dropped a pass.
Nice.
I didn't drop a pass this year. I don't even think I barely dropped any last year when I just
we need a football team here at Triumph.
I have a couple, we're gonna show some action shots here, while we talking. I had a really good one-hander. I had some one-handers. I had some runs and just some really cool just in the sunrise shots. I wasn't catching the ball or anything. It was just a good look, It's just good promo and all that. And you saw some really good stuff.
Definitely, without a doubt. And I think the best part about all of that is that we've talked previously, you really like playing more of the offense as opposed to defense. Tell us why.
Because when you're on offense, right, you can analyze and you can learn a little bit more about how to play defense if you want to play it, right?
Sure.
You can and you can also get better at playing on offense, right? So you can get decent at defense if you want to play defense, but you can get even better as a player on offense.
Right.
Right. So let's say the thing that I do when I go out there, right? I'm always pretty much making sure the defender doesn't know what I'm doing, right?
Yep.
If he knows what I'm doing, then it's not good. But the only case where it's good when the defender knows what you're doing is when you're about to do a fake, right? So if you're looking right into the defender's eyes, right, and you're going along the route, you hit that cut, right? Then you fake that out. Fake that out, right? I've done that before, and man, it works to perfection. If you sell the fake, you really got to sell that fake too. It's not just your eyes. It's not just your movement. It has everything to do with how you position your legs and your back, right? You got to position your legs so it's legs and your back. So your legs got to go into like an outward pose, right? And then your back has to be kind of going not kind of like across, right? Your back has to go is facing this angle, right? So it's very self-explanatory when you explain it like that. And it's very hard to do, but I've mastered it.
And I think, you know what, we've talked a lot about George Pickens over the last couple of weeks, but it's definitely worth talking about for sure, number
Yes.
one. But some of the great shots that we saw in episode 3, you know, he is a receiver, so he's right there in the offense.
He's right
But
there, yeah.
tell us about maybe some of the other guys outside of Pickens. We know that you guys love Pickens, but tell us about some of the other guys that are offense that kind of lead you to be inspired by them.
Okay, I'll give you one. I've already talked a lot about CeeDee Lamb, so let's not talk about him,
Okay.
right? Let's go in the direction of Justin Jefferson. You know who that is?
I do not, but you're going to tell me.
Yes, I'm going to tell you. Justin Jefferson is number 18 for the Minnesota Vikings, right?
Ah.
He's a highly regarded receiver, and he's great, right? He's got some of the best route running you'll ever see, right? And I inspire my route running a little bit by him, right, and a little bit by CeeDee Lamb, right? Because they're as precise as they get when it comes to their routes, and that's why they're a catch it in space player, and then you make the room yourself, right?
Definitely.
Good receivers know how to make their room and have good ball carrier vision, right? And I'm kind of trying to get that down as I go, but right now I'm trying to focus on getting my hands as good as I can get, right? So then I can focus on making sure my routes are as good or even better than what they're supposed to be.
Right.
know?
So what do you think is the next logical step in your progression through the world of football?
Okay, yeah.
We talked a little bit about, the podcasting and maybe
that's a great question. So
where's it gonna keep laying out?
Every time we go out there, we're starting to do a 40-yard dash, right?
Okay.
And I'll tell you the time that I got the first times I did it, and then leading up to the time that I did recently,
Okay,
right?
fantastic.
So the first time I did it ever, right? My first attempt, I had a 5.7, right?
Okay. So not horrible.
Right,
Pretty
and then
decent.
the second time I had a 5.6, right?
Okay.
And then
improvement already.
Then recently, just recently, when I did it yesterday, when we went out on the field, I had a 5.45.
Okay.
It's a big improvement. It's a big improvement, and we're trying to work our way to the 4s. When we get to the 4s, then we'll start going into max training on the full attachment to your legs to then expand and develop that 4, and then go lower, get a better time.
Right.
See for my goal for my official time, this is a big ask, but it's not impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
This is actually fairly easy in my opinion.
Sure.
I want to get a 4.5 or a 4.3.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be fantastic. And good times again, for sure. And I think that's what it takes is that, we talked about during the offseason, a lot of people, keep working, keep practicing, things like that. And you're constantly working on that.
Oh, yeah, I'm an acrobat. And when it comes to wide receiver wise, I am, let's say, so I don't know if you saw it, but there's this one catch where I was completely in the air. There's a lot of catches where I was completely in the air, right? I was in the air and I caught the ball like this, right?
Yep.
And like one leg was going out and one leg was going the other way, right? So it all has everything to do with the way you position your hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everything to do with how you keep possession of the ball even after you make that twist turn and coming off from not being on the ground,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
When you get off the ground, it's a sensation, right? When that happened, what I did was I immediately turned around as soon as I had possession of the football, right?
Okay.
And then I tucked the football in like that, right?
Gotcha.
That's how you maintain possession of the ball when you're making, acrobatic catches like that, when you turn around and go get it, right?
Right. Well, and of course, here at Triumph, unfortunately, we don't have a sports program yet. I hope in the future that we might have something along those lines. But for you and maybe the next steps after high school, you got any plans for, you're talking about college ball, but you got any eyes out there scouting for where you might want to go
Well, actually, here's a funny story. So there's this one time this year where a coach, he approached me while we were playing out in the practice field of ACU, right?
Right.
He was one of the coaches for, he was not one of the coaches for ACU, right? But he was a scouter, right? He was looking for scouts, right?
Okay.
And he saw me. He knew that I wasn't playing for the ACU, right? I was just going out there to throw the ball around and maintain my credibility, right? So he walked up to me and said, "Hey, you look pretty good out there, and you looked like you were doing some good work, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm working hard out here, and I'm pretty gassed, but I keep going,
Yeah.
And he said, "I like that mentality," right? And he said, "We're gonna keep you posted." And at that point, we exchanged numbers and everything, and and then he said that maybe if we can get something going here, we can slap a contract on you.
Oh,
right?
nice.
But unfortunately, it didn't get done because they already I don't know how they did it, but they found a guy. They found their guy, right?
Sure.
But don't think just because they found a guy better than you doesn't mean that you're not good. Right?
Oh, that's for sure. That's a
right.
given,
There's
for
always
sure.
going to be somebody. There's always going to be somebody that can be better than you, right?
Definitely.
But that's when you realize, oh, okay, I just need to get better so I can go right back up to the
Strive
to the
to be
point I
better,
want to be
to
at.
do better, to live better.
And another phrase for it is exceed your own expectations.
Very
right?
good. I
Exceed
like to
your
hear
own
that.
expectations, and what I always tell everybody when we're going to play football, right? When it comes to football, if you're not doing enough, you're not doing it at all, right?
I think you hit the nail on the head, and it's always great because I take that motivational stance in my class often from day by day. But I really keep putting people out there because, you can do basically anything you put your mind to. That is without a doubt. But let's talk about the upcoming season and where these things are going, because with your skills and things like that, I mean, definitely you're in sync with these football teams. And what do you think is going to happen in the offseason versus going into the new season next year?
Okay, let's recap on some of the things that happened during the free agency, right? So you heard that Kansas City got Kenneth Walker, MVP for the Super Bowl. He was the MVP in the Super Bowl,
right?
At running back. So the Kansas City Chiefs got him, right? And then so the Raiders spent a lot of money. They got Tyler Lindenbaum, and they were supposed to be trading Max Crosby to the Ravens, right?
Okay.
But then the Ravens backed out of the trade because Max Crosby felt his physical, right?
Oh.
I don't know the whole story between that, but I do know that that's why the Ravens backed out of that trade.
Right.
So now Max Crosby is going to be a Raider for another year, right?
Okay.
And another talk is, so before that happened, Cowboys proposed a trade to get Crosby. They were going to trade their 12th pick in the NFL draft, right? Obviously in the first round, and they were going to give that and also second round pick, right?
Okay.
And the offer was going to go through, but then last minute the Ravens they were going to give 2 first round picks for Max Crosby, what a unexpected that was to see for the first time, right? And then the other thing that was unexpected was that the Ravens backed out of the trade, even though they made the proposition for the trade. That's what's most concerning.
Nice. Well, for sure. I mean, it looks like it's going to be an exciting season overall. I mean, I think a lot of people, not necessarily that they were shocked with who went into the Super Bowl this year, but I think that there was a lot of people that were hoping for different teams. But that's neither here nor there. They both got in.
The Patriots are probably still going to be on par with how they played last season, right? And the reason why I say that is because all their players that were doing good are on their rookie contracts. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but they could still, make an unexpected signing to maybe Drake May or something and try to get him in there for longer, right? Which is, it's not something that I would, put as highly likely. I'll put it a little bit below, in the middle of all that kind of stuff.
I think the important thing to remember is that anybody could read notes off a piece of paper. Anybody could read a teleprompter screen or any of those, which we don't have, by the way. But, I mean, I don't think anybody knows football the way you know football. And so it's amazing just hear you
let me
throw these names out there left and right.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so this is kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, it's not, right?
Okay.
So in my time of when I was 12, right, from all the way till now, I play Madden. Right.
Okay.
Madden is a very it's a frustrating game, but at the same time, it can be fun, and that's why I always come back to Madden. Right. That's how I have all this knowledge, but I also have all the knowledge because Google, on my For You page of Google, right, everything on there is NFL, and I get everything before anyone else sees it. It's crazy.
Okay, that's great.
Right, and I know everything about the players. So when the Kansas City Chiefs got Kenneth Walker, right? I knew about that before anyone else did.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I looked at it. I don't know if it was real or fake, because sometimes you can't tell because you don't know if it's they're just saying that, right? But then so the thing that I put on my phone, because I recently put a software update on my phone, right? So make sure that it shows the logo of the real NFL, and it has a check sign to make it known that they're verified, and this is
Right.
a verified website, and this is real. This actually happened. So now I know when the players get signed, right? When the players get, put in a different team, traded or something, I'll know before anyone else.
There you go. That is reason enough to watch the show. Again, a host that knows the most.
Yes, absolutely.
So he's got good stuff, folks. And I tell you what, if you have any questions about football, you want to chit chat with Carsten, hey, because he knows football. And especially as we get into more and more of the episodes, I know also we're talking about you taking over episodes during the summertime. And that's kind of what we're gearing up over the next couple of weeks. We have about 7 weeks left in the school year, but Carsten's going to be taking it over during the summertime, which we're excited about. So, Carsten, I just want to close with anything else that you're excited about that you want to share about upcoming episodes. I know you got some big plans in mind.
Oh yes, I have some very good plans. Some very I was questionable about it for a little bit, but then I thought about it and was like, this is probably what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try out new things for a new episode coming out probably sometime next week, right? This episode, I'm not sure, it'll probably be coming out this weekend.
Right?
This weekend, and I'm just very excited to introduce you something new. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but it is going to be something very cool and very exciting, and it has a lot to do with promo and stuff and, big announcements. And when we do announce it and we do drop the 5th episode next week, preferably, then we'll have it on Facebook, the news, the announcement. We'll have it on Facebook, and we'll have it on at host of Grind Game Glory. That's my TikTok channel, again, if you need it. And it's gonna be on there. It's gonna be, and if there's a way, then we can put it on, we'll put it on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Then we could definitely put it on Instagram, right?
Yeah,
put it on Instagram. Sure. And we're really gonna get into the marketing and stuff, and we're gonna be dropping merchandise. That's the one thing I am gonna say. It's not, and that's not a spoiler or anything. That's just me saying we're going to put out some merchandise. I promise you guys, we're gonna put out some merchandise so you can, if we drop an episode and you want to wear a t-shirt or a cap watching the Grind Game Glory episode, go right ahead, because we'd love for you to just promote us and all that. It's great stuff. We love that.
That is the excitement of it all. That's what Grind Game and Glory is all about. Grinding daily, and of course, always encouraged and always in the game. And of course, all the glory, period. To the players, to whatever you may believe, that's where the glory needs to go, right?
And again, if you ever want to find me, or contact me, then when I hand you a business card, then it'll have a QR code on there. It'll give you all 3 links to the Grind Game Glory, and you'll be able to see everything that you need to see and everything that is important, that is most important. And
that's what I was about to say as well. You probably noticed up on the screen right now that we are popping that QR code up there. And so it'll take you over to Carsten's information so you can contact him, talk all things football, and who knows, he might even have you on as a guest of Grind Game Glory.
If you want to be a guest on Grind Game Glory, you can, obviously my number will be on the business card, and my number we can probably put up on the screen. And you can call me if you want to be a special guest, and we'll get it set up, and we'll make sure you're on there. You just got to contact us.
There you go. Easy enough. So I think we're going to go ahead and close out the show today. It's been great visiting with you again, Carsten.
Yes.
I can't imagine that, the next show is going to be even better and better and better as you keep on building
We're going
to
get better. We're going to get better. And has been another excellent, spectacular time with you today on this episode 4 of Grind Game Glory. Thank you and good night. Thank you.
So I just want to close up one more thing. We're going to go ahead and close out the show today with some nice action shots. We'll even throw some music in the background. This is Carsten in action. And so again, if you want to reach out to him, then do so. All you got to do is look up at Grind Game Glory. And anything you want to say about these photo shots that we're fixing to pop up there for everybody?
I think that they're very acrobatic, and I think that my level of football is, expanded dramatically. I said that in the first episode. And I'm going to keep saying that because it'll expand dramatically every time I go out there. Every time I go out there, I'm telling you, I do not drop a pass. I always catch the ball. I make sure I'm in uniform, because obviously it's good to be in uniform, because if you're going out for those catches and you fall, right, it's good to have protection. Always.
Absolutely. Always is. Well, there you go. Okay, like I said, we're going to lead you out with some great photo shots and some action shots as well. So, Carsten, thanks for having me back on the show, man. You're doing fantastic.
Yes.
Keep rocking it.
Yeah, I will.
All right. That's
See
it.
you on the next episode, episode 5 of Grind Game Glory.
And as always, I would be amiss if I didn't tell you to check out at TPHS Spark Studio. That is Triumph Public High School, TPHS Spark Studio. That's where all the magic happens. So again, thanks a lot for checking out Grind Game Glory.
Good night.
We're covering the grind behind the game and the glory that comes from it. Because this is more than highlights, this is the work behind the wins, the mindset behind the moments, and the lessons that last long after the final whistle. Be sure to catch our next episode on Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you stream your podcast. And as always, don't forget to check out TPHS Spark Studio on all your favorite socials to stay connected with the voices behind the mics. Nothing is given. Everything is earned. This is Grind Game Glory.